Episode 5656 HQ August 21, 2023. British Columbia, Washington, Denmark, San Diego and New Hampshire wood-burning pollution. Despite the Facebook embargo on news from Canada, a friend from British Columbia is posting non-stop about wood-burning pollution from that Canadian province now engulfed with wildfire smoke. This British Columbian normally has to deal with PM 2.5 pollution on a massive scale, just as a near neighbor of one indoor residential wood burner. Now the air pollution is compounded by Canadian wildfires in his province, so thick that airplanes were not leaving the airport until last night. So there was literally no escape. Illustrating this episode are some of his Facebook postings. The often used purple air map showing the angry purple circles of concentrated PM 2.5, and some of the poster's humorous remarks in the face of tragedy, are all familiar to his friends. Enjoy the entertainment, and hopefully learn something about what it is like to live with struggling to breathe every day, searching for help and answers, and seeing the government fall short of its duty to public health, foiled by the profit-seeking wood-burning industry. During a wildfire, Walmart cleanup on aisle 9 is not possible without an air purifier. In the Oregon Road area, in Spokane, Washington, Walmarts currently have smoke inside due to lack of filtration. Why the icon Bernie Sanders in pink Icelandic mittens in a car with Barbie and Ken? For a well-needed laugh. It's also sort of funny that the insurance industry is trying to sell car insurance to people fleeing the wildfires in their cars. Is this a parody? No joke follows. The University of Washington announces that wildfire smoke is like a giant cigarette. The good news is that wood doesn't contain nicotine, so we can all easily kick the habit of intentionally burning wood, with no physical withdrawal symptoms. Kids. Washington, University of Washington. Wildfire smoke like a giant cigarette to lungs. Newsroom, UW Medicine. UW Medicine, University of Washington. Higher concentrations of PM 2.5 can really irritate all of our lungs. Signs and symptoms that should signal you to seek cleaner air in a ROSEP view. This Copenhagen, Denmark study found associations between PM 2.5 and hospital admissions and non-accidental mortality. By highlighting the associations with specific health outcomes, such as chronic obstructive pulmonary disease (COPD) mortality and asthma hospital admissions, the study underscores the importance of taking preventive measures to minimize UFP, ultrafine particulate, PM 2.5, exposure. One way to minimize UFP, also known as PM 2.5, is to stop indoor residential wood burning. Another way is to stop substituting wood burning for coal burning in power plants and so using replacement of one pollution source with an even more polluting source for burning. To stop emissions of PM 2.5, stop burning solid fuels first, then stop burning other fossil fuels like natural gas, although natural gas burning produces 450 times less PM 2.5 than wood burning. 2023 is the year when we can begin to replace a significant portion of solid fuel burning with home heating energy from wind, solar and geothermal energy sent to a smart electric grid reaching even to the most isolated but populated rural areas. Denmark, Copenhagen. https://pdf.science-directassets.com/27183/1-0269749123x00190/1-230103982/main.pdf. Environmental pollution 336, 2023. 122396 available online August 16, 2023 short-term exposure to ultrafine particles and mortality and hospital admissions due to respiratory and cardiovascular diseases in Copenhagen, Denmark, Section of Environmental Health, Department of Public Health, University of Copenhagen, Copenhagen, Denmark. Excerpt edited by ROSEP for brevity and clarity and relationship to residents against wood smoke emission particulates. Abstract. Ultrafine particles, UFP, particulate matter less than 0.1 micrometers in diameter, may be more harmful to human health than larger particles, but epidemiological evidence on their health effects is still limited. In this study, we examined the association between short-term exposure to UFP and mortality and hospital admissions in Copenhagen, Denmark. Daily concentrations of UFP, measured as particle number concentration in a size range 11 to 700 nanometers, and meteorological variables were monitored at an urban background station in central Copenhagen during 2002 to 2018. Daily counts of deaths from all non-accidental causes, as well as deaths and hospital admissions from cardiovascular and respiratory diseases were obtained from Danish registers. Mortality and hospital admissions. Associated with an interquartile range, IQR, increase in UFP exposure on a concurrent day and up to 6 preceding days prior to the death or admission were examined in a case crossover study design. Odds ratios, or with 95% confidence intervals, CI, per 1 IQR increase in UFP were estimated after adjusting for temperature and relative humidity. We observed 140,079 deaths in total, 236,003 respiratory and 342,074 cardiovascular. Hospital admissions between 2002 and 2018. Hospital admissions due to respiratory and cardiovascular diseases were significantly positively associated with 1 IQR increase in UFP, or 1.04, 95% CI, 1.01, 1.07, lag 0 to 4, and 1.02, 1.00, 1.04, lag 0 to 1, respectively. Among the specific causes, the strongest associations were found for chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, mortality and asthma hospital admissions and 2-day means. Lag 0 to 1, of UFP, or 1.13, 1.01, 1.26, and 1.08, 1.00, 1.16, respectively, per 1 IQR increase in UFP. Based on 17 years of UFP monitoring data, we present novel findings showing that short-term exposure to UFP can trigger respiratory and cardiovascular diseases mortality and morbidity in Copenhagen, Denmark. The strongest associations with UFP were observed with COPD mortality and asthma hospital admissions. Conclusion: short-term exposure to UFP may be associated with an increase in respiratory and cardiovascular hospital admissions, as well as non-accidental mortality in Copenhagen, Denmark, within up to 1 week of high UFP concentrations. Among the specific causes, COPD mortality and asthma hospital admissions were most strongly associated with UFP. However, we did not see significant associations between UFP and health outcomes after adjustment for NO2 and PM2.5, where we cannot rule out over-adjustment bias. The study's findings can inform the development of policies and regulations aimed at mitigating the health risks associated with UFP exposure, such as air quality standards and emission reduction strategies. Moreover, the study contributes to raising public awareness about the potential health risks associated with UFP exposure. By highlighting the associations with specific health outcomes, such as COPD mortality and asthma hospital admissions, the study underscores the importance of taking preventive measures to minimize UFP exposure, particularly for vulnerable populations. The study's findings can guide future research efforts, which should aim to improve exposure assessment by incorporating monitoring data with a higher spatial resolution and reduce missingness of measurement data. Northern Hemisphere? An article compares electric bikes stored indoors to indoor residential wood burning. It is true that both can spark house fires. Rozep view: does Rozep have an unexpected ally in a resident who wants to store his, her or their electric bike inside a condo? The resident seems to be implying that a wood-burning fireplace is more of a fire hazard than an electric bike's lithium batteries possibly exploding during charging and igniting a condo fire. Rozep does not know the statistical certainty of wood-burning fireplaces igniting condo fires in comparison to electric bike lithium batteries igniting condo fires, but does know that, even without starting actual building fires, wood-burning fireplaces emit invisible but hazardous PM2.5 and CO2 at levels higher than coal burning and at 450 times the PM2.5 level as natural gas burning. This member of a HOA or Condo Homeowners Association says the rule for his condo that they can't store their electric bikes on their decks or inside their condos is insane. It is possible that a condo could allow an outside shed to be constructed on the condo property for an electric bike along with other electric appliances that need to be charged, such as, for instance, electric lawn mowers. Problem solved? It seems it would be harder for condo owners to remove their wood-burning fireplaces that came with the condos than to move their electric bikes outside, but maybe removal of the offending wood-burning fireplaces also could be done. Can these condo owners' electric bikes be saved by timely construction of an outdoor shed so they can conveniently store and also charge their bikes outside? Stay tuned for this soap opera to come to a happy ending, unlike the never-ending saga of most near neighbors waiting for their neighbor's indoor residential wood burning to stop. That may take intervention at the federal level, apparently. It's a steep climb, but maybe residents against wood smoke emission particulates needs to climb that federal hill, but not choose to die on it. The article writer points out, in defense of the electric bike owners wanting to keep their bikes inside their condos, referring to another, much larger electric vehicle, the EV, according to a recent Swedish study, though electric vehicle, EV, fires have been in the news recently, they're statistically less likely than gas car fires, even after accounting for the different numbers of each type of vehicle. So the bike owners' focuses are not exactly on the air pollution from indoor residential wood burning, but at least one or two acknowledge that indoor residential wood burning has the dangerous potential to start a house fire, if not noting explicitly, at least in this article, the damaging air pollution both from a health perspective and an environmental perspective, from PM 2.5 emissions from indoor residential wood burning. Actually, on reflection, Rozep can see that a homeowner may absent-mindedly, carelessly, or even deviously, charge a stored electric bike inside a condo, especially if it is inconvenient to move a bike outside for the sole purpose of charging an electric bike stored indoors, since charging takes several hours and is a planned action. The rule of the HOA to require electric bikes to be stored outside seems reasonable to Rozep's editor for that reason. If only the HOA would take another reasonable action of removing all wood-burning fireplaces from all the condos, since condos, as modern buildings, must have adequate modern home heating appliances already installed in every condo to heat homes without the need of indoor residential wood burning. Unfortunately, the mindset of a person who is always on the alert for other human beings violating their airspace with wood smoke pollution is not in sync with the mindset of electric bike owners who want to keep their electric bikes inside, in this instance. Near neighbors of indoor residential wood burners cannot afford the luxury of indulging the odd parochial tastes of indoor residential wood burners, or the inertia of electric bike owners who can't be troubled to go outside to charge their electric bikes outside for safety reasons, which electric bikes they are going to ride outside eventually anyway. Think positively that going outside to charge your bike is a form of exercise, or at least a way of getting your steps in. You can keep a stationary bike inside. I'm sure the HOA would have no objection to that. Northern Hemisphere? Homeowner frustrated with HOA's unreasonable battery rule, storage should not be. Yahoo News. The Redditor found this new rule completely unreasonable. Our condos were built with wood-burning fireplaces, and they choose to die on this hill? One user pointed out that storage should not be restricted like that because fires mostly seem to occur while charging, requiring outdoor charging is reasonable. Homeowner frustrated with HOA's unreasonable battery rule, storage should not be restricted like that. August 19, 2023. Excerpt edited by Rozep for brevity and clarity and relationship to residents against wood smoke emission particulates. In July, an HOA resident on Reddit posted about their condo's frustrating ban on lithium batteries and chargers. Lithium-ion batteries, also known simply as lithium batteries, are the most common type of power storage for electric vehicles like cars, e-bikes, and scooters. Negative press about the risk of lithium battery fires has led to bans in some HOAs and condos. HOA enacted rules against anything with a lithium battery, they said, calling the move insane. The Redditor shared the specific wording of their condo's new rule. All electric bikes, scooters, etc. with lithium batteries and chargers may not be stored on decks or inside condos, they said. Batteries and chargers must be kept away from the building and charged away from the buildings at all times. Rule breakers were threatened with a penalty of no less than $5,000. The Redditor found this new rule completely unreasonable. Our condos were built with wood-burning fireplaces, and they choose to die on this hill, they demanded. According to a recent Swedish study, though EV fires have been in the news recently, they're statistically less likely than gas car fires, even after accounting for the different numbers of each type of vehicle. Furthermore, when lithium battery fires do happen, they're most often caused by batteries that have been modified or incorrectly repaired, an issue that can be avoided by following basic safety rules. One user pointed out that storage should not be restricted like that because fires mostly seem to occur while charging, requiring outdoor charging is reasonable. California, San Diego. Rozep view, The happy news in this San Diego, California article below is that states and municipalities and even some homeowners associations have banned the use of or construction of wood-burning fireplaces and even gas fireplaces, allowing only electric. The bad news in this article is that in San Diego, the San Diego County Air Pollution Control District's Public Information Officer Melina Meza said that they have no rule that addresses fireplace usage because there isn't a high usage in San Diego. The good news, again in this article, is that doesn't mean some, San Diego, local municipalities haven't instituted them, fireplace bans, either wood-burning or gas-burning bans. Rozep wonders if converting a wood-burning fireplace to gas or electric is part of the solution or part of the problem of air pollution. Gas heating is part of the problem of air pollution, as we know now. This article reinforces the idea that indoor residential wood-burning was and is recreational, rather than a necessity, and the photographs of fireplaces, even if not wood-burning, are marketing devices mimicking superfluous wood-burning fireplaces that unfortunately emit real, not fantasy PM 2.5 particulates onto near neighbors, probably less affluent near neighbors. Wood-burning is 90% PM 2.5, particulate of 2.5 micrometer size, the perfect size to infiltrate the human lung, setting off a cascade of human health problems and early deaths. San Diego residents have no need to burn wood for heat. Stop the absurdity and stop the pollution, again, people. Fireplaces in this article are large, space-hogging and unnecessary. San Diego homes may lack central heating, but is any home heating in San Diego, California needed? If home heating is needed occasionally, luckily small, unobtrusive heating can be accomplished by heat pumps, which can also serve as air conditioners and are so efficient they lower most home heating bills immediately. This article goes into detail describing how a wood-burning fireplace can be replaced by a gas insert. Natural gas burning is now viewed as polluting in many communities, although it emits 450 times less PM 2.5 than wood-burning or an electric insert. But why perpetuate a look that is outdated, the look of having a fireplace, at all? The look of flames should not be considered natural when food can be cooked and homes heated in reality with electric heat from wind, solar and geothermal sources. Why not set up a model of a wind generator or solar panel in your living room, and inertly gaze in your living room instead, if that activity is your idea of recreation? It would be more aesthetically pleasing than burning your retinas looking at an orange flame. To each his own, if it doesn't emit PM 2.5 and CO2. Cozy is a silly word. Lovely is a better word, and there is nothing so lovely as a living tree. Commemoration of tree burning is not a cozy thought at all, especially for current and hopefully not future near neighbors of indoor residential wood burners. Thankfully, this article does state in other words, it may smell cozy, but it's not good for your health. A salient paragraph taken from this article that should be the lead of the article is but another complaint she hears is whether the old fireplace is functioning correctly, is it letting too much smoke in the house, or is it even radiating enough heat into the room? It's more than just an ambience thing, she added. A lot of people want to feel cozy next to a fire, and it's just not hot enough. You'd think wood-burning fireplaces would generate a lot of heat, but the way that a chimney works, heat rises, and with a wood-burning fireplace the chimney pulls it up and out so it's not as hot as you think it's going to be. As romantic as a wood-burning fireplace may seem, it's not only inefficient if you're trying to heat a room, it's also an environmental and health hazard. In 2021, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency issued an update to its 2017 National Emissions Inventory. It noted that wood-burning devices, including fireplaces, are significant sources of air pollution in the U.S., emitting large amounts of fine particulate matter, called PM 2.5, volatile organic compounds, and hazardous air pollutants that the EPA noted are known to contribute to poor human health, air quality, and visibility. The EPA explained that in addition to PM 2.5, wood smoke contains several toxic air pollutants, including benzene, formaldehyde, acrolein and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. Home is where the hearth is. The San Diego Union Tribune. San Diego Union Tribune. The EPA explained that in addition to PM 2.5, wood smoke contains use of or construction of wood-burning fireplaces and even gas fireplaces. Excerpt edited by Rozep for brevity and clarity and relationship to residents against wood smoke emission particulates. Rozep view, this article is mainly about how to convert a wood-burning fireplace to gas or electric. Designers added a white oak mantel, and outfitted the firebox opening with a screen pattern resembling sea kelp to complement its coastal setting. Unless you've recently moved into a new construction home, chances are good that if your home is more than 15 or 20 years old and has a fireplace, it's likely to be wood-burning, even if it has a gas insert. And its facade may appear too dated for today's sleeker styles. Think heavy red brick or bulky, rustic rock that makes you think it's ready for climbing instead of lighting. It may smell cozy, but it's not good for your health. States and municipalities and even some homeowners associations have banned the use of or construction of wood-burning fireplaces and even gas fireplaces, allowing only electric. In San Diego, however, the San Diego County Air Pollution Control District's Public Information Officer Melina Meza said that they have no rule that addresses fireplace usage because there isn't a high usage in San Diego. That doesn't mean some local municipalities haven't instituted them. The original electric insert was kept for this fireplace, updated with fun tile. What many homeowners are opting for these days are gas and electric models. Clients are converting their gas and wood-burning fireplaces to electric. Electric inserts have come a long way and are easy to install, take up less space and can be controlled smartly and remotely. They feel they'll use them more because all they need is a remote to turn them on and off. There's a potential benefit for people who want to have a TV over the fireplace. What's really nice about an electric fireplace is that we can both lower the mantle and the TV because there's no heat issue. Some designers have set sound bars inside faux fireplace mantles, no longer worrying about heat issues. Electric fireplaces don't produce real flames, said, although they create the illusion of flickering flames using a spinning light refractor or flame filament that bounces light from a light bulb, often an LED. Some models include a heater as well. Some do have a heater, which is basically a 1,500 watt heater that's designed to heat up about 5,000 square feet, depending on the manufacturer. Electric inserts can be inserted into an existing fireplace, but that requires an electrician to run power to the inside of the firebox. If the firebox has a gas line, that will need to be capped off. And, he added, the top of the chimney must be sealed to make sure no rainwater drops onto the electric fireplace. Gas fireplaces can be controlled with the touch of a switch, your thermostat, or a remote control. There's no sweeping up ashes. There's no smoke. They actually do produce flames and heat using a blower and heat release system. Because they produce heat, they require sealed glass to cover the unit. On top of that should be a mesh screen or double glass. The mesh is a code requirement because the glass gets really hot. Double glass, which is more expensive, eliminates the look of the mesh. It's a way of preventing you or a child or a pet from getting burned touching that hot glass. You may need to have a gas line installed if you don't have one, or a line moved or redone if it's not in the right place or not up to code. Look into heat management technologies, which can draw heat from the fireplace outside to reduce wall temperatures above and around the fireplace. If you want to place a TV on, then heat management is something you certainly should consider, she said. And those units cost more money. For a gas fireplace without heat management, Pinto suggested that the best surface for a fireplace would be small-scale tiles. Clients often want their fireplace to be a focal point in a room, which can be achieved with scale, materials, or design. Transform former brick, stone, or 1980s travertine tile surrounds with large format, textured tile, on-trend subway tiles and herringbone, or unique tiles. We often add a custom, clean line wood mantle. A corner fireplace set into the wall surrounded by bold tile offers a clean, minimalist look. We have clients that have a linear electric fireplace, the TV above it, and drywall around it, and that's it. So, it's a very minimalistic look, and if the replacement is what's called a pancake fireplace, meaning an electric fireplace that's only 8 inches deep, it can go where a fireplace wasn't before with some ease. Additional styling could include cutting a niche into the wall for a TV so it blends seamlessly with the wall. Modifications involving gas or electrical work should be done by a contractor, who should also pull local permits if they're required. And, he emphasized, before buying anything, if you live in a community with a homeowners association, make sure you follow its rules, as well as any municipal regulations. ROSEP view, the pollution from biomass, wood burning, is not mentioned in this New Hampshire article. The huge taxpayer subsidies wasted on the Berlin, New Hampshire biomass wood-burning plant are mentioned in this article. This is an examination of the economic reasons to end biomass, wood-burning, in industrial plants. Hopefully, the Berlin biomass wood-burning plant will soon be shut down, in ROSEP's view, for the greater good and in the interest of public health. No tears here for the workers, they can train for different jobs, as this author, below, very well knows. New Hampshire. Distant dome, economic upheaval is inevitable, but traumatic. indipthnh.org. indipthnh.org. Much like the old wood-burning plants, the Burgess plant was and is touted as a savior to the wood products industry in the North County, which is, distant dome, economic upheaval is inevitable, but traumatic. The author is pictured in the press room at the State House in Concord, New Hampshire. Excerpt edited by Rozep for brevity and clarity and relationship to residents against wood smoke emission particulates. New Hampshire owners chase cheap labor, and the textile mills and shoe factories that once provided the economic base for the cities in New Hampshire were closed as new factories opened in the South. For textile workers, there wasn't a great deal of government help in the days before Franklin Delano Roosevelt's New Deal, which put a safety net under American workers. Significant economic shifts not only affect blue-collar workers, they can also impact professional levels. Today, the same situation is happening in the North Country of the state of New Hampshire, which should have some understanding of economic turmoil after all the paper mills closed in the last few decades. The last great hope for the logging industry, which suffered significantly when the paper mills closed, was wood-burning power plants, which the state has propped up since they were first constructed to offset the oil embargo and provide a hedge for energy generation when needed. Of the original 6 wood-burning generating plants, only a couple are still operating. For years lawmakers passed bills to continue to force electric utilities to buy from the plants to maintain the wood products industry and to clean the forest floor, which would decrease the risk of a major forest fire. But then there is the Burgess biomass plant in Berlin, which produces 75 megawatts of electricity, way more than any of the smaller facilities. It operates under a purchase power contract with Eversource, but at rates well above market price and with subsidies totaling about $200 million during the life of the plant, including carbon credits. To date, the company owes ratepayers about $70 million for its over-market price through laws passed the past few years to keep the plant operating. The House and Senate passed House Bill 142 this past session to try one more time to work out an arrangement allowing the plant to continue to operate while repaying its debt to ratepayers. But Governor Chris Sununu vetoed the bill last week, saying New Hampshire ratepayers have been taken for over $200 million in order to subsidize the Burgess biomass plant in Berlin, New Hampshire. Enough is enough. Adding the power purchase agreement with Burgess Biopower is a great example of what can go wrong when the good intentions of a sympathetic government get exploited and abused by opportunists in the private sector. Some lawmakers were quick to say in the long term, the veto will have a bigger impact on ratepayers than the bill, but others were disappointed, but agreed it might be time to make a change. Much like the old wood-burning plants, the Burgess plant was and is touted as a savior to the wood products industry in the North County, which is also facing another problem. The largest single block of land in the state of New Hampshire was recently purchased by Bluesource Sustainable, which expects to reduce the amount of logging on the land by 50% and instead use it for carbon credits, which are more valuable. Rozep deduces that the carbon credits will come from reducing the amount of logging, and thus reducing the pollution from wood burning of that cut wood. The change would impact towns at the northern tip of the state, which depend on the timber tax to fund some of those towns' budgets. Between the Burgess wood-burning plant closing, uncertainty and less logging because of carbon credits, both the wood product industry and the towns will be impacted. There are a lot of good reasons for objecting to Sununu's vetoes, but also a lot of good reasons to say enough is enough and move on. Because ultimately you can only put off the inevitable for so long. The wood products industry will decline and Berlin and other towns in the North Country will survive, but the transition will be traumatic, and maybe that's where government subsidies should go now, to loggers put out of work, money for retraining loggers for different jobs. Arizona. Rozep view, it is doubtful that pile burning helps clear the air of PM 2.5 pollution. Prescribed fire planned near Campwood on the Chino Valley Ranger District. Arizona Emergency Information Network az.gov. As nighttime temperatures cool, smoke can linger in drainages and valleys. Pile burning helps to reduce hazardous fuels in the wildland-urban interface. Idaho. Where's that smoke coming from? Online maps show location, status of Idaho wildfires. Yahoo News Canada. The advisories note where outdoor burning and wood stove or fireplace burning are disallowed in each county. The DEQ issued a yellow/moderate air. Oregon, Multnomah County. Health Department reinstates mandatory wood burning restriction due to air pollution from Multnomah County, Oregon, Umatilla. Massive wood chip fire burning in Umatilla. Local news, hermistonherald.com. Hermiston Herald. An approximate 80 to 100 foot tall wood chip/sawdust fire is burning near the Two Rivers Correctional Center in Umatilla, Washington, Spokane. Hazardous air over Spokane may linger through Tuesday, the spokesman review. The air quality at 6 p.m. was listed at 426 in the 500-point scale. Since monitoring began in 1999 for particulate matter 2.5 microns or less. British Columbia, Vancouver, Butchart Gardens. Smoky skies alert in place for Vancouver Island, fireworks cancelled at Butchart Gardens. Times colonist. Ground level concentrations of fine particulate matter, PM 2.5, a shorthand. Elevated particulate matter levels will persist until 5 p.m. British Columbia, New Westminster. Keeping New West safe, fire and smoking ban in effect in local parks. New West record. New Westminster Fire and Rescue Services reminds residents there's a ban on smoking and using charcoal or wood-burning barbecues in parks and PM 2.5 and human health. Wildfire smoke could have long-term health effects, but more study needed. Newsday. Wood smoke particles may be very different from power plant particles or even from one wildfire to another, depending on what was burned and how. https://RAC President testwordpress.com/please attach PDF letter to NIID Director Dr. Jean Marazzo to an email from you to Jean Marazzo NIH.gov/. Episode 56 GF July 19, 2023. The Ask, request a complaint-based system from 10 attorney generals suing the EPA to give wood stove users certainty. The Ask, emails of 3 NIH officials jean.marazzo@nih.gov, hugh.auchincloss@nih.gov, lawrence.tabak@nih.gov emails of 13 assistant attorney generals, deputy attorney generals and general counsel preparing to sue the EPA to provide clarity for indoor residential wood stove manufacturers, vendors, and users. Instead, the assistant attorneys general should ask for a PM 2.5 pollution complaint-based system in place of the failed wood stove certification program. The states involved are Alaska, Illinois, Maryland, Massachusetts, Minnesota, New Jersey, New York, Oregon, Vermont, and Washington, as well as the Puget Sound Clean Air Agency. Contact emails for the 13 assistant or deputy attorney generals and a general counsel are cody.doig@alaska.gov Alaska Senior Assistant Attorney General email, Cody Doig. jason.james@ilag.gov Illinois Assistant Attorney General email, Jason James. Goldstein@oag.state.md.us Maryland Special Assistant Attorney General email, Stephen Goldstein. Turner.smith@mass.gov Massachusetts Assistant Attorney General email, Turner Smith. Peter.Serto@ag.state.mn.us Minnesota Special Assistant Attorney General email, Peter Serto. Lisa.Morelli@law.njoag.gov New Jersey Deputy Attorney General email, Lisa Morelli. Nicholas.Batino@ag.newyork.gov New York Assistant Attorney General email, Nicholas Batino. Paul.Garahan@doj.state.or.us Oregon Attorney in Charge email, Paul Garahan, one of 2 or attorneys. Steve.Novick@doj.state.or.us Oregon Special Assistant Attorney General email, Steve Novick, one of 2 or attorneys. Nick.Persampieri@vermont.gov Vermont Assistant Attorney General email, Nick Persampieri. Caroline.Kress@atg.wa.gov Washington Assistant Attorney General email, Caroline Kress. Chris.Wrights@atg.wa.gov Washington Assistant Attorney General email, Chris Wrights. Jennifer.Cleanair.gov General Counsel, Puget Sound Clean Air Agency, Jennifer A. Dold. A new icon has been added to the RAWSC President's website, which is now the nearest right icon. The icon is an ask that has already been described in episode 56 GB, description of the parties who should be at the table when deciding on safe wood stove emission limits and fence line measurements, rather than wood stove certification, and emails to contact 10 deputy or assistant attorney generals and 1 general counsel. Those PDFs are included at the icon link. Residents Against Wood Smoke Emission Particulates, https://racpresidents.wordpress.com and click on the nearest right icon for the ask. 1. Email PDF letters to 3 officials of the National Institutes of Health, NIH. and NIID https://RAC President Testword pre-ss.com/ please attach PDF letter to NIID Director Dr. Jean Marazzo to an email from you to Jean Marazzo NIH /the Ask To, email PDF letters to 13 Assistant Attorneys Generals, Deputy Attorney Generals and General Counsel https:// RAC President Testword pre-ss.com/ please contact Attorneys General about August suit versus CPA asking for certainty for wood stove users. RACEP asks for complaint-based situm based on PM monitor data exceeding EP/ to the right of that 3. Barbie goes to the dating game https://racpresidents.wordpress.com/1-barbie-goes-to-the-dating-game to the right of that 4. Cookies that may contain rocks are recalled https://racpresidents.wordpress.com/cookies-that-may-contain-rocks-are recalled/ to the right of that 5. The Fox Owns the Forest card game https://racpresidents.wordpress.com/the-fox-owns-the-forest-card-game-TBA then to the right of that, the latest months, 6, August and 7, July 2023, of PDFs of articles with URLs to search on https://racpresidents.wordpress.com/1-August-2023-PDFs-of-URLs and https://racpresidents.wordpress.com/1-July-2023-PDFs-of-URLs to the right of that, 8. Stickers to hand out for RACEP, games such as 9A, Bingo for RACEP, 9B. Crosswords for RACEP 9C, PM 2.5's Jeopardy free game https://u2.be/lnsg32pydnc 9D, PM 2.5 free Monopoly https://u2.be/cuck1pscqnq and Endwood Smoke Monopoly 9E, vending machines for PM 2.5 monitors, and 10. Icon links to 30-minute YouTube videos and Spotify podcasts as well as podcasts.google.com, Castbox and Pocket Cast. Pocket Cast is only free on the phone app. Pocket Cast works on Apple phones, and, below those icons, icon links to monthly URLs of PDFs from June 2023 to May 2022.